Han van Meegeren, 1889 to 1947, was a Dutch painter turned art forger whose audacious scheme in the 1930s and 1940s fooled experts, collectors, and even Nazi leaders into believing he had unearthed lost masterpieces by the renowned 17th-century artist Johannes Vermeer. Motivated by resentment over critics dismissing his original work as mediocre, Van Meegeren created hyper-realistic forgeries that sold for millions in today's value. The scandal peaked during World War II when he sold one to Hermann Göring, Hitler's right-hand man, leading to his post-war arrest for treason. To save himself from execution, he confessed to forgery and proved it by painting another fake in custody. This event remains one of history's most infamous art hoaxes, blending revenge, wartime greed, and artistic genius. Van Meegeren, trained at Amsterdam's Rijksacademie, struggled as an artist. His portraits and landscapes were panned by critics like Abraham Bredius, a leading Vermeer expert, as talentless and third-rate. Enraged, he pivoted to forgery around 1923, starting with lesser Dutch masters like Frans Hals and Peter de Hooch. By the 1930s, he targeted Vermeer, whose scarcity, only 35 known works, made discoveries lucrative. Technique: he sourced 17th-century canvases, stripped old paint, and repainted in Vermeer style, using rare ultramarine blue, not modern cobalt, and baking canvases with bakelite resin to mimic centuries-old craquelure cracks. He aged them further by rolling and abrading surfaces. Significance: his first major Vermeer, The Supper at Emmaus, 1936 to 1937, was hailed by Bredius as Vermeer's masterpiece. It sold for the equivalent of $6 million today, validating Van Meegeren's revenge. He'd reveal the hoax later, but greed kept him going. Emmaus was exhibited at Rotterdam's Boijmans Museum in 1938, drawing crowds and expert acclaim. Van Meegeren produced more lost Vermeers, like Lady with a Blue Veil and The Lacemaker, selling them via intermediaries to avoid scrutiny. He amassed a fortune, $60 million today, while living lavishly in Nice, France. Dutch collectors and museums bought in, believing they'd saved national treasures from export.